How can I implement some ground rules during meal time? Sit in chair during meal, don't climb on table, etc. Asking firmly and redirecting doesn't seem to work. Why do you think he's moving? That's the first question. When you tell your son that firmly and try to redirect them, but they still end up moving, do you think they just don't want to listen to you? They're just like, no, I don't want to do this. I just want to get on my mom's nerve because she's asking me something and I'm not going to do it. No. Right? He's moving because his body tells him to move. You can't just stop. You can't just sit down. So what I did with the kids was shorter meal times and also sitting on a wobbly cushion. You can look it up on Amazon. You can quietly remove him and sit him back on a chair if you don't want to move. Just make the meal shorter. Put a few bites of his food in the plate and you all sit down together. And also talking. First, let's say you just put the food, right? You say Bismillah. Time to say dua for eating. And then the dua takes time. And then you're like, oh, I've been thinking about this. Or when I was little, I used to love Curious George. Whatever it is, just talking to them to keep them engaged helps a lot. Like not just ignoring them. Don't be on your phone. I hope that helps. The second thing is I stopped preparing meals for my 3-year-old and just let him snack throughout the day because I found myself throwing out a ton of food because he simply just wouldn't eat it. Any tips? As a family though, we only sit down for dinner. Should I still have him sit at the table and have a solid meal for breakfast and lunch? Yeah, if you're not doing something, he's not gonna do it. So why don't you eat lunch and breakfast? That means you're snacking too. If you're snacking, he's gonna be snacking. I don't have a basis for this, to be honest, but I do think that it's better for us to sit down and give meal time. Maybe it's just because I was raised that way. I don't really know, like Islamically or in a meal psych world, everybody says something different. So I don't know what the specialists say, but even Islamically, I'm not sure. I know we have to sit down to eat, but I'm not sure if it has to be meals, snacks. I don't know. I know that breakfast is important to have, and if you're not eating breakfast, it could be because your circadian rhythm is messed up. You're not hungry because your melatonin didn't kick on time and all of these things. And that's why the morning sun is very important to see with the naked eye. Yeah, so he's only gonna do what you're doing. So you look at why you're snacking. Is snacking working for you or not? And then when you give him the food and he's not eating it, it's because he was snacking. So he's only gonna eat if he's hungry. If he stayed without food for 3 hours, he's gonna be hungry and then he's gonna wanna eat. And also if he's eating a lot of carbs, sugar, he's gonna be always hungry. Make sure that there is a balance of protein so he doesn't just keep looking for food because he's getting sugar crash. Yeah, I eat when I get a chance. Okay, so no, you have to make room for it. I know, but I also know that you can make room for it. I know how it feels, but trust me, I also know that you can make room for it. Why do you need to sit down and eat? Why is it important? You have to answer these questions and see the importance in sitting down, eating, nurturing yourself, because then you can nurture the other two that you have to take care of. Christina said she used to do the same, I remember, yeah. And I started smaller meals, like a little bit more than the snack size, and that helps a lot. Good. That's a good tip, yeah. All right, the other thing is potty training tips. It seems like the diaper is a sense of security and safety from feeling wet, which he doesn't like. What's pushing you to potty train at this time? Is there something that tells you have to potty train? Because if you just had a newborn, why would you add a new thing? If he's fine with the diaper, then let him have a diaper. Recognize, is there something that's pushing you? Is there somebody who's telling you have to potty train? What comments? Peer pressure from who? Tell me from who. I'm gonna go to get them. Care. No, he's not potty trained yet. That's it. Okay, the husband tell him he can potty train him. He can take 3 days off of work and he can potty train him. If it doesn't work, let him do the research. If it doesn't work, then he will know. Or let him do the research and then he probably is going to change his mind when he's still doing the research. Just tell him Mariam said, leave him for a few more months. Because it's one sense of security for him as well. You just had a newborn, there's a lot of change going on, and then you want to add another change for potty training, he's just going to resist. It's okay. Let him be comfortable in a poopy diaper. It's not going to be an emergency to change a diaper if you're breastfeeding, for example. He can wait until you finish breastfeeding, then you can change it. To be honest, I found that changing diapers was easier than taking him to the bathroom when he needed to.